Welcome back, or welcome if you're new to my channel. My name is Katie and this is Louisiana Cooking and Living. And today we're going to be making cheesecake. We're going to be making two different flavors of cheesecake, and we're going to be doing them in these little fall dessert cup liner things, kind of like a cupcake liner, but they're more sturdy. And we're having a fellowship at church tomorrow, so I'm making these two desserts to bring to the fellowship, and I will link the recipes. They came from Pinterest. I will link them in the description box. And the first one we're going to be making is a pumpkin cheesecake, and the other one is a caramel apple crisp cheesecake. So I guess we're going to go ahead and get the crust going, and then we will move on to the cheesecake part. So I'll move the camera down so you can see what we're going to do. I'll have to be referring to these notes because I've never made this before. And we're going to get both the crusts going a little bit different, and then we'll get those in the oven. All right, so this is our first bowl. This is gonna be our pumpkin cheesecake. I'm trying to keep everything separated. I thought about putting the pumpkin ones in with the fall leaves, and we'll do the apple ones in with the stripes. So the pumpkin cheesecake is gonna have 3/4 of a cup of graham cracker crumbs. I just ran these through the food processor. We're gonna add a tablespoon of light brown sugar and a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1.5 tablespoons of butter. And it says to, so I need to get a fork. We'll combine this all with a fork. The butter wasn't quite melted all the way. Combine this up. I thought about even just doing this in the food processor, which is what I usually do whenever I make my cheesecake, but I was needing to process crumbs for my other one, so we're just going to go with what the recipe says to do. All right, after we get this, we're going to use 1 rounded tablespoon in each cup for the crust. I think I almost could have had a little bit more butter than that. I might steal a little butter from my other one. You want them to just kind of come together, so that whenever you push them down into the cup, they will stick together. All right, I'm just going to use the spoon I'm already have dirty. I'm going to spoon them into here. And then it says you're going to use a, let's see, how does it word it? Use a small bottle such as spice bottle or a shot glass to press them down to form the crust. I have another one of these little tiny measuring cups, so I'm just gonna grab one of those. This says it makes 12. My other recipe says it makes 16 to 18, I think. Already smell good with all that cinnamon too. All right, I'm gonna grab another one of these little cups. Press it down in here just to make it kind of all stick together.
Press on the counter. So really push. There we go. Nope. Maybe not. The harder I press, it sticks to the bottom of the cup. We are just trying all this together today.
All right, so that's all of those, and now we will do the crust for the apple one. I'll use that cup again for the apple ones. All right, so for the apple crust, we have a cup of graham cracker crumbs. It says 3/4 of a cup of rolled oats, 1/4 cup of brown sugar. And I think because the cheesecake part does have some cinnamon, and I think with the apple, the caramel apple, I think the cinnamon would be good in the crust too. So I'm gonna add just a touch of cinnamon in here, not much. That was like less than 1/4 of a teaspoon. And then how much butter is it? 1/2 cup of melted butter. So this is right out 1/2 cup. Hopefully I don't do like the other one and need more. Use the same fork to bring it all together. So I guess these oats make it like the apple crunch part of it. So this one I would not recommend putting in the food processor to blend it all together, because these oats then would turn into oat flour and stay, instead of staying whole. These are rolled oats, not like an instant oat or something, or a quick oat. All right. Now these, I only had the one muffin tray. So I have all my little cups just in these baking pans. So I'll just go around and divide it up again. Quick and easy little recipe to put these crusts together. So I have 18 cups here. It said made 16 to 18, so I wanted to make sure I had enough crust if I end up having enough filling. Alright, I'll just go back and put some more in each one. So the crust amounts are pretty generous. I love the crust on the cheesecake. I'm not a huge fan of cheesecake, but I like that this has a thicker cheesecake crust. All right, so we'll press these down also. And use it in this flat pan actually. Seems to work better than actually using the muffin tin. So if you use these kind of baking cups, I would say use like a 13 by 9 or some little baking pan like this instead of the muffin tin. All right, we're gonna get these in the oven on 350 degrees, and let's see. That one doesn't say how long to bake. Let's see what the other one says. It just says bake for 5 minutes. So not long at all. All right, we're gonna get these in the oven and we'll come back when they're okay. So our crusts have cooked and have cooled, so we're gonna go ahead and make the filling. And in my stand mixer bowl here, I have 2 8-ounce packages of cream cheese that are completely softened. And to that, and this is kind of odd, I've never done this before in a cheesecake, it calls for 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. So, looks like that's pretty much all I have left in here. I try to make sure when I buy cornstarch that I buy cornstarch that's non-GMO, because they do have that. So got our cornstarch. Now this recipe, every time I've made cheesecake, it's called for cream cheese, sour cream, and eggs. And this recipe does not call for that. I'm gonna put an egg in here anyway. I'm not gonna put the sour cream, but I am gonna go ahead and put my very pretty blue egg. I'm not sure if you can tell on the camera. Blue egg from my yard. So 1 egg. Hopefully this works right. I already have all my stuff measured out here. So then it's 1/4 cup of brown sugar. It is 1/4 cup of white sugar. Vanilla, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. So put some vanilla in there. It's calling for ginger also. I don't have any ginger. I'm not gonna add that. This is a homemade vanilla extract I've made. I can link my video where we made this together. And then cinnamon, it calls for 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. All right, cream cheese, cornstarch, brown sugar, white sugar, ginger, vanilla, and cinnamon. And we are going to mix this together. This is going to be for the caramel apple crisp cheesecake. Scrape down the sides and give it one last mix. All right, that mixes really nicely since that cream cheese was completely at room temperature. All right, so in this bowl, we are making the streusel topping. It's got, I've already put in here 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 1/4 cup of rolled oats, 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and then 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. I did not have coconut oil, so this is just avocado oil. And you know what? I think I want to add a little bit of salt to this. I feel like crumb toppings need just a little bit of salt to go with that sweet. And then we are going to peel 2 medium apples, and I'm just gonna peel them right here on this paper towel so that I can just collect the peels and throw them away. So I'm gonna peel these and then chop them up. These are Gala apples I'm using tonight. But you can use whatever apples you enjoy. It says finely diced. All right, now we have all of our components together. Let me stir this together. You could probably even use butter for this part of the recipe. It's just the binder to keep all the crumb topping together, make it crumbly. Drizzle this avocado oil. Looks like I probably could have used maybe a little bit more because it's not really bonding together. Maybe I'll get a little bit of drizzle more. That looks better. All right, now we can put all these together. It says what we're going to do is we're going to put the cream cheese part on, and then we're going to chop up the apple, put on top of the cheesecake layer, and then put the apple crisp part on top. All right. We'll start putting some of this in. All right, I'm going to make sure I have enough for these before I start putting some on that other pan, because this doesn't seem like it's enough filling for this many desserts. All right, that looks like that's all I'm going to get out of this. That's 3, 6, 9, 12. So this filling is not enough for... All right, sorry about that. My memory was full on my phone. I had to go through and delete a bunch of stuff. So I was able to make 12 of those little cheesecakes. I wasn't able to make the 16 to 18. I spread that filling out. I spread out the chopped apples, and then I did the streusel topping, which the streusel topping almost wasn't quite enough for the 12 desserts also. So if you're making this, just kind of lets a heads up on the amounts. So, and then I put it in the oven, and it's 25 to 30 minutes on 350. I said, now we're going to make the filling for the pumpkin cheesecakes, and I'll have everything ready. So I'm just using the same mixing bowl because the ingredients that were in that one are going to be in this one. The biggest difference is the pumpkin. So that's why I did the apple ones first, and we'll do the pumpkin ones now. All right, so we have 1 8-ounce block of very softened cream cheese in here. We're going to use a half a cup of canned pumpkin puree. Get all that out. All right, we'll need 1 egg. This time I have a green egg. I'm not sure if you can tell that on here. It's green. So 1 egg. 2 tablespoons of sour cream. I just have this squeezed sour cream, so we'll just do eyeball 2 tablespoons of that. A half a cup of sugar. Now it says a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/8 of a teaspoon of ground nutmeg, and a pinch of cloves. I don't have ground nut. I may have ground nutmeg, but I don't have like ground cloves. So I'm just gonna use this pumpkin pie spice. If we're making pumpkin cheesecake, why not, right? So I'm gonna go with, it says a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. So I'm gonna do about 3/4 of a teaspoon-ish, a generous half a teaspoon. One tablespoon of flour. Have that right here. And then a half a teaspoon of vanilla. Again, the vanilla I made with you guys. All right, we're gonna blend all this up. Again, scraping the sides of the bowl down. Make sure everything's mixed in good. So this is kind of funny. So the first cheesecake filling I used the Philadelphia brand cream cheese, and this was Prairie Farms brand cream cheese in this one. I took them out of the refrigerator at the same time, and this one didn't blend up as well. Like I should have mixed it by itself, whipped it by itself before I put in the other ingredients. The other one mixed up perfectly fine. There's like chunks of cream cheese in here. All right, we're just going to go with it. If you can see, it's got like chunks. I guess they'll melt in with the batter. They smash fine against the bowl. Maybe I'll go through and just smash them as best I can. All right. We'll call that good. All right, like the other one, we're gonna layer it into our little crusts here. And hope we have enough for 12. So this is our final product. Some people may or may not have already taste tested them. I ended up doing a whipped cream with vanilla on top of the pumpkin, and then sprinkled a little bit of cinnamon on top, and then I did a caramel drizzle on the caramel apple ones. So bring it a little closer here. All right. I just asked you to hit subscribe and follow along with us as we cook many more things and explore Louisiana. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.